and start whenever you want.
Hi, I'm Kathy Garcia. I'm the Deputy Director of Public Works with the City of Hayward, and we're here to talk about the traffic signal upgrade at Huntwood Avenue. We have IA from our transportation plan to be giving us a presentation along with the consultant. So IA, would you like to begin?
Thank you, Kathy. Hello, everyone, and welcome to the community outreach meeting for the traffic signal upgrade at Huntwood Avenue. My name is Dr. Aya Kadri, and I'm the project manager of the traffic signal upgrade at Huntwood Avenue. The purpose of this project is to upgrade the existing traffic signal system at the intersection of Huntwood Avenue, Industrial Parkway, and Huntwood Avenue, Sandoval Way. It will enhance bicycle and pedestrian safety of the vehicle going through the intersection, and optimize traffic flow. Today, we will talk about the project background and objectives. Then we will talk about the existing condition of these two intersections and possible design solution. And at the end, we will review the project schedule and next steps. The city staff received several residents' complaints in the past 5 years regarding traffic queuing, delays, and safety of the pedestrian and bicycle at the intersection of Huntwood Avenue, Industrial Parkway, and Huntwood Avenue, Sandoval Way. And the city did some traffic signal upgrades at these two intersections, which helped in traffic congestion and vehicle backup issue in some degree, but it did not solve the issue significantly. A more comprehensive signals modification was needed to fully address the problem, and the City of the Hayward Transportation Division decided further improvements are needed. Based on preliminary assessment of the project existing conditions and public requests, 3 project objectives were defined: to upgrade traffic signal system and improve signal timings, to improve traffic flow and reduce vehicle backups, and to enhance pedestrian and bicycle safety. And now I want to ask Shruti Shrivastava from AMG, which is the project traffic engineer consultant who's helping the city on this project, to present the results from the existing assessment and traffic analysis and possible improvement options in more detail.
Thank you, Ai. Hello, everyone. My name is Shruti, and I'm the traffic consultant from AMG. As a part of the preliminary existing conditions, could you go a slide back?
Sure.
As a part of the existing conditions assessment, we did a preliminary field visit where we went and observed traffic during the AM and PM commute hours. We also did a collision analysis to see what kind of incidents and collisions were occurring at the intersection so that we can come up with improvements to help resolve them. And based on our field visit and our collision analysis, we developed some preliminary recommendations that we believe will help improve traffic flow through the intersections and reduce the time that vehicles have to wait at the intersections, as well as improve pedestrian and bicycle safety. As a part of a preliminary field visit, we observed that there was heavy directional traffic demands, primarily in the northbound direction coming from Sandoval Way towards Industrial Parkway in the morning, and in the southbound direction, which would be going from Industrial Parkway towards Sandoval Way and then further south. Another critical aspect to note at these two intersections is they are very closely spaced together. The proximity of the railroad tracks is also very close. There's approximately 300 feet difference between the three the intersections and the railroad tracks. And also the existing signal timing operations are not conducive for the heavy demands that these intersections are facing. Next, we did a collision analysis. We did it for over 5 years. And what we observed from the collision analysis was majority of the collisions that occurred at the two intersections were broadside and rear end collisions. Typically, adjusting signal timings will help resolve and improve these kind of collisions. And you see that in the figure on the left, where it's over 50% are broadside and rear end. The figure on the right kind of correlates back to the figure on the left, where 17% is primarily traffic signal improvements, which can be done by adjusting timings and configurations, and improper turning and unsafe speed kind of like tie into that as well. Based on our preliminary field visit and the collision analysis that we just discussed, we came up with 4 or 5 recommendations. One is to upgrade the existing signal settings at the intersections to protected left turn phasing, which we'll discuss more in detail in the next slides. Then we would also upgrade the existing signing and striping, and then update the pedestrian and bicycle infrastructure to be more ADA compliant, which is Americans with Disability Act, which helps improve mobility for all users. We will also be installing hybrid video detection for bicycles and queue cutter detection at the railroad tracks. And we will be installing peer-to-peer communication, which basically has the intersections talk to each other so that it can improve traffic flow. As I mentioned earlier, one of our first recommendations would be to upgrade the existing signal timing. And we will do this by converting our current signal timing. So if you see the figure on your right, currently along Huntwood Avenue, the approach, the left turns and the through movements go together, which means the only one approach gets its movement, and it has to, and all other approaches have to wait at that point. What this does is it increases the delay at the intersection, so vehicles have to wait longer, and it only allows one crosswalk to be served, so pedestrians have to wait longer too. With our proposed recommendation, we will be separating the left and the through movements so that left turns from both sides of Huntwood Avenue can go together and the through movements can go simultaneously. And when both the through movements go together, the pedestrians on both sides will be served. So this will help reduce the time that you're spending at the intersection a lot better as a vehicle driver and as a pedestrian. We will be upgrading the existing driveway at Huntwood Avenue, Sandoval Way to be more to improve safety and to be more ADA compliant, as I mentioned earlier, so that it is easier to navigate for all users. We will also be adding bicycle markings to go through the intersection so that bicyclists have a marked right of way. Next, we will be upgrading the existing detection system to include video detection, which will also detect bicyclists. So as you can see in the video on your left, the bicyclists will be detected. As you can see that pink box that shows up, the bicyclists are detected, and this will be done for all the lanes that you see. So anytime a bicyclist is in any of the lane, they will get served, and often you can increase the amount of time that the bicycle needs, and that way, that will be a lot more safer for them to cross these big intersections. We also recommend installing queue cutter loops, which is basically detection at the railroad tracks. So currently there is no detection there. And as you can see from the graphic here, when there is no detection, vehicles drive through the intersection and back up on the railroad track. But with detection, the signal will be green for longer and will let all of the vehicles travel through so that no one is stuck on the railroad track, which will tremendously improve safety at this location. Lastly, we will be installing peer-to-peer communication between traffic signals. And what that really means is that the two intersections will talk to each other. Right now, they don't have communication. So when you come to Huntwood Avenue, Sandoval Way, you may potentially hit a stop at Huntwood Avenue Industrial Parkway. But when we install this type of communication, whenever you get a green at Sandoval Way, you will also get a green light at Industrial Parkway, which will help you move through the intersections a lot smoother. With this, I will talk about the next steps in the project.
Thank you, Shruti. The residents can engage on this project process by first attending these 2 community outreach meetings that you are attending the first one, and the next one will be by end of this year to present the proposed design solutions. There is an updated project website that helps the residents to track the project process. An online survey is provided, which you could find the link to the survey on the city project website. Residents have time to fill out the online survey by end of November. And also there is a project email address available for the residents. They can email the city staff whenever they have any comments or questions regarding the project, and staff would be available to answer those questions. The email address is huntwood@hayward. Here you can see a graph that shows the project as and received the state grant for this project. The preliminary study and existing condition assessment were completed. 3 weeks to send their comments and fill up by end of November. Staff, with the help of the traffic engineer consultant, will work on the improvements options and the project design to present the proposed design and receive the public input. The final design will be presented to the Council Infrastructure Committee in April 2022, which is open to public and is another opportunity for the resident and council member to provide any comments they have regarding the proposed design. And at the end, going to be the project construction, which will be started by October 2022. Now I want to open the question and answer section to the attendees. And I want to ask if anybody have any question or comment, please raise your hand. And you go or type on the comment section and we're gonna read the comment. Thank you.
For the attendees, we have several attendees. If you have any questions or comments, please raise your hand and we can answer them hopefully.
We cannot hear you, Michael.
Okay, how about now?
No, we can.
Okay, sorry about that. So we have one question in the Q&A. First question is from Ian, and it says, I live in this area. The number one, the bike lanes are a disaster, get rid of them. And we have, again, if you need to raise your hand, you can click the raise hand button at the very bottom of your Zoom taskbar. If you've dialed in, you want to dial *9, which will raise your hand if you've called in by phone, and then *6 to unmute. So it looks like we have did anybody want to address the comment about the no bike lanes?
Thank you for your question, but if you can maybe more specifically say why you don't like the bike lanes, and then we can consider that to see how we can fix it.
And then the second question was the median, or comment is the median on Industrial Parkway southbound should be extended as lots of people are making the left turn on Huntwood and get stuck behind people going straight.
That's a really good point. But right now the grant we have received for this project is only for the traffic signal upgrade, but it can be another project follow up to this project that to extend the median, and it's going to be something we definitely going to consider.
And we can look into your comment about that.
Thank you.
The industrial southbound should be extended. We can look into that also.
Okay, I'm going to go to the public comments. I'm gonna, Randy, who has his hand raised, I'm gonna go ahead and allow you to speak. Go ahead and unmute yourself, Randy.
Okay. Hello.
Great.
I think these all sound really great. I love the high-tech thing with the signals talking to each other. And I will say industrial is like one of the easier streets to bike, I think. I really like that kind of weird back trail thing that goes over Huntwood. I mean, it doesn't go over Huntwood, but it'd be kind of cool if that had a bridge over it. But it probably doesn't, you probably don't have the money for the grant for that. But industrial is a street that I will take. Tennyson and Winton, those are dicey as all heck. But I think you're on the right track here. But I've never had as many problems with industrial as compared to, Winton or Tennyson. Winton by Southland is kind of a nightmare too. But I think this is great what you're doing. Definitely a step in the right direction. I love that industrial, you can go all the way down and then kind of make a left by Costco and get way the heck out in the bay. So anyway, I'll let you go. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Okay, I'm gonna go to our second raised hand, which is Ian. I'm gonna go ahead and unmute yourself, Ian, please.
Hi, good evening. This format of Zoom is foreign to me, so I'm kind of learning as the meeting goes. I live on industrial, just shy of Mission, so I routinely use these to go to both work and recreation. The first thing I noticed when they installed the bike lanes on Huntwood between Industrial and Olympic, what used to be 2 lanes at the stoplight and 2 lanes at the stop sign at Olympic is now down to 1. And the volume of cars hasn't decreased at all. I am a bicyclist. I ride the route with my son every day, but there has to be a better way than simply restricting the flow of cars because the demand has not gone down. So a drive that used to be 7 minutes, because I live and work in Hayward, is now 12 minutes. So it's added more pollution and more congestion in that neighborhood. The other thing I know, they recently repaved Huntwood with the exception of the 2 Union Pacific industrial grade crossings in that neighborhood. I believe this would be more of a function of the UP. Is there any way they can, and they're probably gonna have to rip up the tracks and then re-tie them and repave those 2 specific grade crossings. Because if you are, for instance, on roller skates, rollerblades, or a bicycle, the old asphalt that's at those 2 grade crossings is very hazardous. And you did get to my previous comment with the left turn traffic from industrial southwestbound onto Huntwood. In the morning, you often will get stranded and miss a light because there's a parade of people going straight. And I was just wondering if maybe they could just potentially extend that left turn lane. Thank you for taking my comments.
Great, thank you.
Thank you, Ian. They were all really good points and good comments you mentioned here. We're definitely gonna go and take a look at all of the problems you mentioned, and also about the turn left as well. It's gonna be something that in our design process, we're gonna take a look at it to see if there's a possibility that we can do anything about that. Thank you for your comment.
Okay, another question or comment on the Huntwood. It says, from Lewis, it says, you need to improve this because there are big trucks that take almost the entire green length of time. And the second comment from Mike, it says, the problem with the bike lanes is that they've consumed a second lane for traffic, thereby causing a backlog of cars during commute times at the very intersection we're trying to improve.
So one of the reasons that we decided to have this project was to solve that queuing problem that is happening there by changing the 2-lane traffic to 1 lane and adding that bike lane. And hopefully with all of those improvements that our consultant just mentioned, we can help to solve that problem with working these two signals together and manage the traffic queuing on the railroad and on the Huntwood Avenue. And it's something that if we're going to look at it as a design options, we're going to do some traffic modeling to see if that can help this problem. So we're definitely looking at the possible design options and traffic design signal options to solve those type of problems. Shruti, is there anything you maybe want to add?
You covered most of it, IA. The main aim of peer-to-peer communication is making sure that the green times are given simultaneously to both of those intersections, which currently you're seeing the westbound left backup at Industrial as one of the participants just mentioned, and you're seeing the congestion on Huntwood Avenue. It's because the signals aren't communicating with each other, and not enough traffic is being able to flow through the intersections. So with these improvements, we will, one, be able to adjust the capacity at the two locations. We will also be able to improve the traffic flow. So you should see an improvement in the vehicle backups that you're experiencing.
Yes, they all really good points and good
Just to
comments.
add to that, I like
Sure.
The question about the left turn from Industrial onto Huntwood. As you mentioned, that like it's not included as part of the fund that we went out for this time, median improvement on all those things. But we actually included a signal optimization where we can put in something like twice per cycle left turn, as that left turn gets served twice instead of once. So that way what happens is, even with that limited space in the median, since it is getting served 2 times in one cycle, more people can make that left turn. So that might relieve the situation to some extent. And as part of this project, we are not going to add any bike lanes, but we are just looking at ways to improve the operation of the signal to make traffic flow better through these 2 intersections and improve safety.
Thank you, Joy.
Okay, I don't see any new questions in the question and answer comments, and I don't see any other raised hands at this time.
So thank you everyone for attending this meeting. The presentation is recorded and it's going to be on our website. There's going to be an online survey. Please go there and find the link and fill out the survey. It's going to really help us to come with better design solution to solve the problem, understand exactly what is the problem, but that area and how we can help it and come with better design solution. Thank you so much for attending the meeting and have a great night. Thanks everyone.
Thank you.
Thank you.